Welcome to another episode of the Crypto Spin Through podcast. The schedule's been kind of weird lately, so I think sometimes I've been thinking that I was posting on the website, but I actually haven't, so I apologize for that. I'll try to update it like tomorrow. Well, today, tomorrow. So if you've been anticipating the website and stuff, I'll apologize for it probably not being there, since for whatever reason I thought I did post it, but sometimes I look back and I haven't. So on to the news. Ex-CFTC commissioner joins a crypto exchange as an advisor. So Bart Chilton has joined the exchange Omega One, and they have the goal of following regulation and doing things legit. They're trying to fit in the current framework that we have, like the current financial framework and other regulatory framework, instead of just kind of ignoring it like most crypto does. And Bart Chilton believes this is the way to ensure crypto prospers, by existing in the current framework of things. Personally, I can only halfway agree with that, considering yes, we have to work within the framework, but we do have to push to change some things, because not every regulation right now is beneficial to crypto or conductive to how kind of the new technology is developing. But it is good that more attention is paid to the government side of things, because we can't ignore the government side of things forever, or we'll come crashing down hard. And speaking of government side of things, investors file class action against BitConnect after closure. So a class action lawsuit has been filed after that cease and desist. It's been issued a couple weeks ago. This class action has been filed by David Silver of the Florida law firm Silver Miller. The investors lost over $700,000 on BitConnect, and I don't think this is the one that's going after the affiliates, but I do know that this will not be the last situation where a class action lawsuit is filed against crypto. I didn't have this as its own article because I already kind of had all the stuff said, but that new thing that just did an exit scam, it was like Podium or something. I mean, something will probably be issued against that, but I doubt they're going to find the people, because just like BitConnect, the people on higher end of the totem pole kind of did the smart thing and kept really low. Like, you don't really know who's at the very top there. You only know the more public-facing figures. But mentioning back to that exit scam that just happened, I didn't even know about this thing, and from what I've been hearing is it was a more Facebook promoted coin, which is concerning, because these are the kind of things that will lead to the crypto industry getting hardcore regulations slammed down upon us, because people are scamming Facebook like normies. Basically, is the closest word you can get for that. Like these newbie Facebook people who have no clue what they're even doing. It's pretty terrible, but going back to BitConnect, it's dead, and anything like this is probably going to also face the same wrath, which is this Davos lending, whatever. Yeah, that's going to 100% get hit with something eventually. More SEC news. The SEC CFTC chiefs eye closer crypto scrutiny. So the SEC and CFTC are working very closely together and putting significant resources to monitoring crypto, citing that they are looking at people who are presenting form over substance to investors especially those who are using form arguments. So this really means that a form argument is saying you're a utility token, but you're running an ICO, because it's already been established that if you run an ICO, you are considered as a security by the SEC. This is just how it happens. Even if your token actually is a utility, it doesn't count, because running that ICO basically voids that claim you're security. I mean, a claim that you're a utility and instantly makes you a security. So that's kind of the form over substance argument. And I don't know if there's going to be anything that happens to these lawyers that were claiming that listing yourself as a utility token would keep you safe legally, which, I mean, in hindsight, it's definitely sounds dumb, considering higher courts or higher like court cases are more interpretation than strict legal sense. But yeah, expect more SEC cease and desist letters to be thrown out on people, and if it's high profile enough, expect to see people getting pursued by law enforcement and sent to jail. Former Ripple exec invests $57.6 million in Uphold. So Uphold's an exchange, if you didn't know. It's getting an upgrade and it's scaling up. And unlike, well, I wouldn't say unlike, but it seems like as crypto's getting more legit, more and more exchanges are doing this, which is creating a reserve fund for user balances, just in case something bad happens, where it's a hack or somehow something goes awry and it's like the funds are locked up for whatever reason. But it seems like reserve funds are getting more common as more regulatory framework is established and these exchanges try to get more compliant, which is really good considering hackers are going to be one of the primary threats to an exchange. But yeah, Uphold's pretty good. You should check it out. If you're still on Coinbase, go to Uphold or any other thing, because Coinbase is pretty trash now. Bitcoin dev Jimmy Song is at Blockchain Capital, so this is a very prominent crypto community member, and he's now at Blockchain Capital, a venture capital company focused on blockchain, and he'll be helping bridge the gap between venture capitalists and Bitcoin devs. He'll also be heading up blockchain innovations at Blockchain Capital, so good for him. World leaders are talking about crypto at Davos. So these Davos attendees are extremely bullish on blockchain. However, there's a kind of caveat here. They believe that the coming decade will see tons of blockchain solution reaching mass usage, and the fact that the tech can be applied to many sectors of the economy are the main reason these elites are very bullish on it. But here's one of those things where it's blockchain, not crypto, not Bitcoin situations of people not giving the credit where it's deserved, that these innovations we currently have are primarily being pushed forward by cryptocurrencies rather than companies just looking into blockchain. And that's really just one thing that really peeves me, that this credit's not being here. I'll continue on this little rant later because it also ties into another article. Due to poor cryptocurrency regulation, South Korea's president rating has dropped. So Korea is pretty maniac for crypto, and sources are saying that Justice Ministry's little outcry for banning crypto is one of the prime reasons that the president's rating is suffering. On the good part, for us at least, This kind of proves that millions of Koreans are really ready to mobilize for crypto, and they are enthusiastic as ever to protect their right to cryptocurrencies. Korea just crazy for crypto. Swedish bank Nordea is forbidding employees from trading Bitcoin. This absolutely blows my mind. Like that an employer be like, you can't use your own money to do this thing. That's just mind blowing to me. But this is just another bank going on a crusade against not allowing crypto transactions. And the question really being raised is, all these banks allowed to do it? Are these banks allowed to forbid their employees from trading crypto? Are these banks allowed to forbid their customers from trading crypto? Why is a bank able to stop you from using your own money legitimately, even if it is in most cases a high risk situation? It seems like these banks are just really trying to control the flow of finances, and they realize that money flowing from banks to crypto is bad for them. So that's why they're really kind of in this crusade against it, I guess, because crypto in a way can function as a bank for some people, and that's the threat. But hopefully there'll be some third party kind of smackdown against all these banks that are either restricting employees or restricting customers, because it just really makes no sense that they're allowed to do such. The People's Bank of China officials are pushing for a centralized state digital currency. So here's this government entity is kind of going the company business route with how they're approaching crypto. They're really anti-cryptocurrencies, pro-blockchain, just like the other situation, the Davos situation. It's a dumb attitude to have, to be fully anti-crypto but be pro-blockchain. Because, as I was saying, innovations are being made because of crypto. You can't really be this negative about it when none of this stuff would exist in its current form without the push of financial incentive of millions. But this People's Bank of China, they're really enthusiastic about blockchain and smart contracts in particular, which is another thing that I personally am kind of jaded towards, because these anti-crypto pro blockchain type deals usually are super pro smart contracts, when the fact that smart contracts are still very experimental. I'm pretty sure I ranted about this last time, but I'm waiting for some country or business to make an overly complex one, and thousands of funds are just gone or locked up forever. I mean, we've already seen less complex things have issues, and we've seen one small change basically breaking an entire smart contract where the funds are inaccessible. So if these anti-crypto people are going to be so smart, so pro smart contract, they need to be monitoring crypto to learn from any past mistakes that crypto has made to avoid themselves, because there's already been tons. ICE exploiting blockchain to expose crypto use in drug trafficking. The biggest takeaway here is the government, specifically the U.S. government, is really looking away to strip the anonymity of Bitcoin. Why? Well, because Bitcoin is easy to track, but it's hard to pinpoint identities. So this is what they're trying to really do, is take that tracking that they have and better associate it with identities and being able to get people that way. So the thing with this is, right now it's 100% possible, but as more crypto innovations occur, it'll be harder, because things like atomic swaps will be a major game changer, and I highly doubt that will be super centralized. There's no way someone would have some open source variant, which will basically crush a lot of law enforcement efforts. They would have to have a super tight leash on Bitcoin, and that would require way more resources than they have, and it would be an international effort, really. But for now, it's really possible for the government to do all these things. But like I said, as more things come out, it'll get harder once crypto is able to, once each coin is able to interact with each other on a non-centralized exchange basis. Coincheck confirms a crypto hack that's loss is much larger than Malgox, but the numbers, just because the numbers are just as high, doesn't mean that this is another Malgox. So first of all, we know that this exchange got hacked for around 500 million NIM, and it's been one of the biggest exchange hacks in a while, and I think possibly ever. However, there was an interesting point that was raised, that this is very far from the Malgox situation, primarily because Coincheck is a very, very small exchange in comparison to Binance or any of these other top 5 exchanges. Coincheck's was 0.25% of the total volume. This is the exact opposite from GOTS, which was 5% of the crypto environment here. Also, unlike GOX, this Coincheck exchange plans to compensate users for lost funds. That was never on the table for Mt. Gox. And finally, if you remember back then, Mt. Gox also had a lot of operational issues and how they handled user money in the first place. This was Coincheck situation is just hackers being the primary reason. The Malgox thing was more like tipping over a glass that was already leaking. And the fact that Gox had a lot of rumors being tied to Silk Road and all that didn't help. So these days has definitely changed. This one exchange is not like Malgox. The only comparable thing is how much money they lost. But in this situation also, I forgot to mention that people have been tracking the money and they tagged what's the stolen funds. So unless there's an exchange that's willing to be the BTCE route and get shut down because they allowed hackers to cash out, looks like these funds will just be stuck in limbo for a while until people potentially forget about it. Visa and Mastercard are now charging additional fees for buying cryptocurrency. So Coinbase's fees have just grew. As you know, Coinbase has dumb fees, and now with these credit card companies jumping on the fee wagon, the fees are even worse. You basically should not be using Coinbase at this point. It's garbage. Don't use it. There's many other alternatives. So, granted, this situation is not Coinbase's fault this time. it, like earlier article, it seems like banks and credit card companies too are kind of in revolt or a war against crypto, and it's not gonna work out for them in the end because you really need a unified effort to ever stomp out something like this, and there won't be a total unified effort. There will definitely be banks that are more open to crypto, and maybe credit cards will probably take a while. I could see them getting unified and charging extra fees, but as the market develops more, there'll be pro crypto solutions that arise that will allow you to circumvent the major credit cards, and it won't be a problem. But for now, it'll 100% be one, and you're kind of stuck with using bank transfers, even if they're significantly slower. But bank transfers, just to avoid the extra fee. So, yeah, stop using Coinbase because, stop using Coinbase, but especially stop if you use a debit card or credit card. And if you want to know an exchange to use, or exchanges to use, just email me and I'll actually be bothered to compile a list. I already have kind of a list, and I have the ones I use. But anyone needs new exchanges that aren't Coinbase, I got you. Just email me about it, and I'll publish one. YouTube ads hijacked for cryptocurrency mining. So expect more of these situations. Like I said earlier, hackers in particular. I'm gonna throw this malware people into hackers, basically the same thing. For this situation, this kind of stuff is going to be more common. Be careful, like I've been saying for a while, with what you open, where you browse. This issue of people injecting JavaScript malware miners into YouTube ads has been found and is being addressed by Google. However, if you want to nip this in the bud right now, really get uBlock Origin. The extension blocks all that stuff. Or you can get the Brave browser. Really good for mobile, because sometimes uBlock doesn't work if you use Chrome on mobile, but it works for Firefox. It's weird. It might just be me, but yeah, use Brave for mobile. Desktop is okay. But I know I've been kind of sounding like an ad, but these things are free and they're good, especially uBlock Origin. Really good. So protect yourself out there. Be careful with these Java. Like I said, in some cases, you might just want to you just might want to disable JavaScript sometimes, because that's the real killer. But just stay aware, stay on your toes, and stay safe. Have that anti-malware, have that things that block JavaScript and other malicious things on websites, block ads, just do all that. Keep your investment safe. Invest in a hardware wallet if you have a lot. Just don't let something really minor be the thing that loses you everything. And finally, our beloved Tether is back. So Tether has confirmed that its relationship with its auditor has dissolved. This situation is sketchy to me. There's been a lot of... This could have been eliminated with a lot of more transparency, but it's still going on. I've seen some arguments for Tether in the last couple weeks, funny enough. These arguments for Tether have not convinced me anything about Tether is good still. I'm still very skeptical of Tether. Just entirely because even if it turns out that they are one-to-one backed and they weren't lying about that, the fact that they've really been avoiding a lot of the accusations and haven't went out to prove something that's provable, such as just accepting to be audited by like entities. It's just there's something sketchy going on with Tether, even if it's not the fact that they're not one-to-one back. There's something going on 100%. I'm convinced, been convinced, but I'm not sure what it is at this point. Because the arguments did sway to me that, yeah, we don't exactly know what's wrong with Tether. We just, at this point, we know there's something wrong because they're not acting right. They are being as transparent as they should be. They aren't really addressing any of the concerns. And some of the past videos or past recordings are kind of evidence that they aren't the highest quality of trustworthiness. So I'd still stay away from Tether, to be honest. And that'll be it. See you Thursday, and like I said, I'll try to keep up with updating the site more than I have. I mean, my schedule is kind of weird right now, and the fact that sometimes I wake up from a dream and I think I'm posted something online. It's happened multiple times now, but it turns out I haven't, so I'll be on top of that. As always, I'd be appreciative if you rate 5 stars on whatever podcasting platform you're listening to the podcast on, and see you Thursday for the next batch of crypto news.